Okay, so Coney.
All right. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
How's everybody weekend?
Good.
Good, good. In fact, nobody got arrested, right? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No,
Well-
I'm serious.
But you know, it's amazing. I asked a coworker, like, was he staying out of trouble or not getting caught?
Yeah,
He said, "Who's asking?"
yeah.
And that would determine his answer. Greg asked me to come back today and talk to y'all about sales. And I want to ask y'all a question: how many people like doing sales? Okay, all right. There are a few hands. How many people hate sales? Be honest. You don't like them? Okay, that's fine. If you don't like selling, stop selling and start helping. Because that's what people expect you to do. When you show up on a job, you're there to help. You are the superhero. They have a problem, they call, you come out, and you're there to help. Now, last month, we talked about what are you wearing and where are you going, as far as like your dress and your appearance and how important that is. But today, we're going to talk about what happens not only once you get to the job, but once you have a chance to get inside. First of all, in fact, we have to consider what the customer is thinking. Now, most of the time, we find ourselves going into homes and there's a woman there, maybe a single woman, doing the day. In fact, she may even have a small child. And so she has invited a man into her home. So now, what do you think is going through her mind? Anybody?
Is this man safe to be around?
Exactly. The company knows you, but she doesn't. She knows Roto. She knows they're a reputable company. That's why she called. But as far as you, she doesn't know. So you have to make sure that she is comfortable with you being in her home. In fact, you need to make sure that you stay within her field of view. You know, if you have to go to the truck, if you have to go call somebody, let her know what's going on. Don't just have her wondering, okay, where is he? He was here a minute ago, where is he? No, you want to make sure that she knows where you are and what's going on. If you have to go back out to the truck, if you have to call somebody about the job, take them on and find out where she is. She may have stepped away. In fact, she may have had a phone call or may have had to go to check on the child. But like, before you move from where she left you, make sure that she knows, okay, where you are and what's going on. Okay, knowing what they're thinking is critical. And you know, even as far as the information, there are a lot of people, they really don't want to know, just fix it. You know, you don't have to explain a whole lot of stuff to me. My tub is stopped up, my sink isn't draining, you know, the pipe is leaking outside, just fix it. Some people want to know. And so being able to read the customer and find out, okay, what is it that this person is expecting from me? Are they expecting an education, or are they just expecting me to get the job done? I work in the information management arena. I actually help people with their computer systems and even their email and stuff. And while working on the help desk, one of the things I used to do when I went to a customer's desk, if they asked questions, if they were inquiring about, well, you know, how did this happen? I would take the time to explain to try to educate them in the process, because otherwise they would start thinking to themselves, you know, this guy just came here, he clicked a couple of times, and he left. So what am I paying for? You know, and that really depends upon the customer. So being able to read who you're working for is critical in how your review may go, and really how many times they call you back. You know, you trust the customer to know what the problem is, and they trust you to be able to fix it. And so those are some of the things that you need to keep in mind. Another thing is being able to read body language. I want to have somebody to come up here and we're going to play a quick little role playing, but I'm going to play the service technician, and I want somebody to come up here and play the customer. So I need a volunteer.
We're just volunteers.
All right. How you doing, David?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So I show up at the door. I come there. I knock on the door, and I say, "Hello, Miss Smith. I'm Greg from Roto." I hear you have a problem, in fact, with your tub not draining. In fact, can you show me what the tub is?
Yes, it's this way.
Okay, and now, if I'm this close to her, okay, she may have a problem with that. Okay, I need to make sure that I respect the boundaries that she has and follow her, you know, within an appropriate distance. As you say, you're going into something, you gotta say thank you. In fact, you're going into somebody's home. You want to make sure that they are comfortable with you being there. And so you also need to be able to actually read their body language. If they're nervous, like, you need to take the time to try to address that so you can calm them down. Make sure that they know that you are a trustworthy individual. Make sure that they know that you are someone who is knowledgeable about your job, and that you are literally there to help. They should be happy they call you. They should be happy to see you come. And you need to address those concerns. Another thing that Greg, in fact, wanted me to talk to you about was offering additional services. Now, nobody knows your home like you do. And the same thing is true with the customers. If they call you out for a leaking faucet outside, and you're on the job, you're there. While you're there, after you've gotten everything done, after you've communicated to them what you did, you can ask them a question. Since I'm here, is there anything else that you need me to look at? Is there anything else that you need me to address while I'm here? Because I'm sure that there is an additional cost for you to go back out there. And what you want to help them understand is that while you're there, while you're on site, you have an opportunity to save them a little money because you're already there. And so helping them to understand and they may not even think, well, how old is your hot water heater? I hadn't checked. I don't even know how old mine is. I probably need to check that when I get home. But
Might cost you some money if you do.
Exactly. But being able to actually get them to think about stuff that they may not have even given a second thought to. Garbage disposal. Is it working properly? Is it leaking? They may have not even checked, especially, if you don't go under the kitchen sink that often. You can say, well, if you like what you while I'm here, I can check that for you. It takes all of 2 or 3 minutes for you to do that, and there may be an opportunity for an additional sale. Now, Greg told me that y'all work on commissions, right, which is a pretty good thing, because you are able to control the amount of income that comes into your pocket. How many of y'all want more income? I'm sure most people do. Well, if you realize that you're helping the customer, literally in the long run, if you're helping them out by addressing stuff that they haven't thought about, then that could increase the amount of money that you're bringing home. And that is oftentimes so important. Explaining pricing while you're on the job, helping them to understand what costs what. Some people, as I said, they don't care. I'll pay it, just fix it. Other people, okay, why or what are you charging me for? And being able to adequately explain that to them is so important, because the customer needs to know, okay, I'm not getting taken advantage of. I'm not having a whole lot of stuff padded on my bill. Because if they do find that out, then they're going to call somebody else. And of course, we don't want that. We want them to continue to call for Roto. And of course, as I mentioned earlier about, how more sales means more money. If you work on commission, that means that you have an opportunity to really help yourself and your family by helping the customer. As I said, don't be pushy, but be concerned, because you have imagine if the customer is a family member, if they are an aunt or uncle or a grandfather or grandmother. You want to make sure that they are taken care of. They don't have any problems. If you see a potential problem, I believe you have a responsibility to at least mention it to them. I think this may be an issue for, if not right now, maybe 6 months down the line, maybe a year, and then later it may cost more. So helping them to understand just how important it is, to have that maintenance, have a routine maintenance, maybe even an inspection, will be helpful to help keep them from having to spend a whole lot of money. And even charging correctly. Greg mentioned to me how important it is for the technicians on the job to charge for the job correctly, because it not only helps you, but it also helps the company. I remember sharing with some guys just yesterday about, there's a scripture in Proverbs that talks about how God takes unbalanced scales, which pretty much means that he doesn't want people to get over, and you don't want someone to be gotten over on. So there should be a fair trade for services rendered and the amount of money that's paid. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you a question. How many of y'all know who Rick Artella is? Nobody, come on, man, please. Nobody knows the name, Rick. You okay? Who is Rick?
He's a CEO.
Exactly, the president.
Marquella.
I'm sorry, I said.
Okay.
Marquella.
Roto Service Center.
Exactly. I
I
had
had
a.
by watching Undercover Boss.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's exactly where I learned. I was talking to a friend of mine about the opportunity that Greg gave me to come here and speak, and she told me about that particular episode. And if you haven't, you can go on YouTube, type in Undercover Boss, Roto, and you'll see the entire episode. And you can learn a lot about the company and about the person that's sitting at the helm, if you will. But I learned a lot from watching that show, and I actually did some homework, before coming here to actually speak today, and how important it is to have that one-on-one communication with the customer. How to be able to actually connect with, because a lot of y'all work in areas where it's your community, where you know the people, and being able to put their mind at ease about, okay, whenever I have an issue with my plumbing, the first company that comes to mind is Roto. Why? Because the guy that came out and helped. He was thorough. He explained stuff to me. He didn't make me feel. He didn't creep me out. He wasn't standing too close. He was well dressed, well manicured. He knew his job. Even if you have to fill out paperwork, and I know a lot of you do, if you're going to fill it out in their yard, that's fine. But let them know, ma'am, I'm going to be sitting out here for about 5 or 10 minutes to fill out the paperwork, because she may go inside. Why is he still here? What is he planning? What is he doing? But if you let them know, you see this right here? It says, in fact, communication is the secret to success. Pass it on. Being able to communicate to the customer. Being able to let them know what's going on from the time you get there until the time you leave. Even if you have to spend 10 minutes sitting out in the yard filling out your paperwork, just let them know, I'm gonna be here for about 5 or 10 minutes filling out my paperwork, and then I'll leave. So they'll know, and so there won't be any surprises. One of the things that really helps me, especially with dealing with my kids and my family, is being able to communicate to them and know what's going on. One of the worst things I hate is getting in the vehicle. We're pulling out the driver, and I'm like, okay, where are we going? Because my wife hasn't told me what our agenda is. And of course, she always say just one place. And we'll end up at 5 different places, because she has a list in her head, but she hasn't communicated it to me. That sometimes brings on frustration. So I will even ask her, okay, look, where are we going? How many places are we going to stop? So I'll know, so I can kind of gauge in my mind, especially if I had something else to do at the house, and I had a certain amount of time to do it in, and I'm burning daylight. I need to know, are we going to be back home in time for me to get this done? Now, she didn't know about that because it really didn't involve her, because I was going to be outside doing something. But because she has her agenda and I have mine, we have to get on the same page. And even when you're walking into somebody's home, their job is to direct you as far as where the problem is. And your job is to not only fix the problem, but also make it easier for them, to not just trust you, but to know that the job is going to be done right. Any questions so far? Anybody got any questions?
I have something I'd like for you to mention.
Okay.
I've got 4 or 5 guys that are under 25 years old,
Okay.
and some of them are actually going up to the door and ringing the doorbell.
Okay.
Do you have any comment on that? Because some of our customers are the generation above me. They're the 70-year-olds and stuff like that. It made me, something happened to me in public parking lot a couple of weeks ago. It was one of my mother's friends, and I did not shave that day, so it must have been Saturday or something. But I mean, he gnawed on me. He's like, "Boy, you didn't shave today, did you?" And I was like, "No, I guess not," But that was the first thing that he said to me,
Right.
And because it's important to him. So, but anyhow, that doesn't have anything to do with the fact that some of you guys are old. So, is there anything that you can think of that they could do to put the customer at ease? Because they're like, they sent a baby out here to try to do a man's job or something, which is not what we're doing.
Exactly. Well, in a situation like that, you definitely want to make sure that you do your best to communicate how well trained you are, as far as how much schooling you've gotten, how much training you've gotten, and that you can handle, in fact, the job. Ask them if they have any questions of you. it really allows them an opportunity, you know, for them to put those issues at ease, you know, for them to settle that in their mind. You know, just because you're young, that doesn't mean that you can't do the job. And then even if you had to shadow someone or go with someone to actually show you how to do the job, being able to tell them that you've been working for, you know, 2 years, 3 years, or, you know, you have so many man hours of training. If that's a question, if that's an issue, that would definitely help ease their fears as far as whether or not, you know, they have a rookie out here that's gonna mess up my stuff, or they have someone here who's knowledgeable. But also too, I know that you have somebody that you go to, you know, when you run into something that you can't handle on your own. You know, there's somebody that you can call, somebody you can get some advice from. And if share that information, you know, ma'am, if I run into any problem, I have a fleet of guys that can come and assist me if that is the case. But, you know, being able to, you know, to really get a feel for the people that you're working for is so important, you know, because they need to know that, okay, this person is here to help. They're here to make my life better. I have a problem, and they're here to solve that problem. I have an issue, and they're here to fix that issue. And so that is, that really is your bread and butter. You know, yes, there is a technical aspect to what you do, but you also, everybody in this room is in customer service. Everybody. Because you are the face of the company when you walk through the door. Any other questions?
Very good answer.
Well, any other questions? Any other concerns? Anything y'all have for me? Who is the best salesperson? Or no, I'll take that back. I don't want to stir up any strife. Who has the highest number of sales? And you don't even have to answer out. If you know who that is, it may be helpful if you just go to that person and talk to them and find out, get some tips from them. Because obviously they're doing something right. Obviously they are making the grade. Obviously they are bringing home the bacon. So if you want to increase your sales, get on somebody, in fact, that knows what they're doing, and you can pick up a couple of things. You can learn something from them. In fact, that's one of the things that I've been doing, even with my motivational speaking. Never stop learning. Never stop educating yourself. Never stop putting yourself in a position where you can learn something, and you can learn something, in fact, not only from somebody older than you, but even from somebody younger. There may be a quicker, faster, better way of doing something, as long as it's safe, moral, legal, and ethical. So don't ever put yourself in a position where it's like, well, that person can't tell me anything, or I can't learn anything from them, or they're too old to know what's going on. Oftentimes that experience is invaluable. So don't be too proud to ask for help and to get the help that you need. I tell my kids all the time, there's nothing wrong with needing help. There's everything wrong with needing it and not being willing to ask for it. You know, because it comes back to bite you. I mean, and I know from personal experience, so.